I'll have you as well. Another update for Gran Turismo this week, and of course we'll kick off with the top announcement in there is that the addition of the Watkins Glen circuit. A great circuit. It's a circuit that's been in different racing games over the years, so I think, just thinking back really, I did play it a lot in Project Cars when it was first revealed. I believe Watkins Glen and Monza, or no, Imola were the two circuits. Probably put more time into it then than ever, went on to iRacing, did some laps, and ultimately did a lot of various races, triple screen runs in Project Cars, and enjoyed it immensely. It's a track that's got a groove to it, it's got a flow, it's got different types of corners, and it all comes together very nicely indeed. Whether you're doing the long version or the short version, both versions of the track are available. I did a stream last week exploring the circuit, and in terms of overall detail, everything looks to be there. I do particularly like the imperfections in the catchment fencing, just giving it that sort of imperfect look in terms of the way it gives you that feeling of speed and that feeling of it looking natural. Nice modelling of the circuit throughout. Firstly, doing the circuit mode, exploring how to maximise the car through the corners. There are some different techniques. I think it's again it's one of those tracks that you will need to explore yourself as a driver. Something I've noticed in Gran Turismo is that there might be one car that's quicker, but then there might be another car that you're more consistently quick with as a race car that communicates with you. And one of the big differences with Gran Turismo is there's a lot of performance in lifting and coasting through the corners, and some of the top drivers tend to lift and coast more, when classically, when I was being shown how to race some of these cars in real life, we would be trail braking and then gently on the power. There wouldn't be so much of this coasting through the corner, but the weight transfer in Gran Turismo seems to support more grip and a higher speed mid-apex sometimes when lifting and coasting. Not something I'm necessarily an expert on. That's something that the esport players will know far more about than myself, but I highlight it because it's something that I don't necessarily see highlighted very often in terms of how much more it's used in the game. Anyway, I digress. Watkins Glen is a great track. I then went through running all of the different races, various muscle car races, and eventually the touring car race as well. Did about 60-70 laps maybe, just on a run the other day on the stream, and enjoyed it immensely. Will be great for racing. Again, it's one of those tracks that I kind of wish we had bigger grids, 24 cars. If there is weather, I mean, generally whenever I've seen it, it's usually dry, but if there's weather in there, just all the elements it brings in terms of tyre wear as well, with the different types of corners, whether you want to race hard, how you can race progressively, protecting your tyres, lots there to do. So a good addition in terms of tracks. In terms of other elements, there have been various improvements to the lobbies. I haven't been through this myself yet, but I'm happy to see that there are improvements, though qualifying is still not possible, and this is a problem if you want to run your own events. So there is still work to do, but there is progress, and that's great to see. Elsewhere, there are new cars that have been... I've bought a couple of the cars in the game. I've now got to... I'll have 200 cars next week in Gran Turismo, so as difficult as everybody says it is to buy the new cars, ultimately you can get there in the end. I feel we live in this kind of impatient world these days where everybody wants everything straight away. Maybe that's just down to the world of Forza Horizon, and it's got everybody wanting everything without putting any effort in, but you can get there in the end. And I've not been doing all of the massive money grinding either. But yes, the Suzuki V6 Escudo Pikes Peak Special 98 has been added, and I had a tour of that on the Time Trial Challenge last week. What a fun car to drive. I love the way it communicates power through the wheel. I love the way it slides, the balance in the car, and yet there is still so much to discover in terms of performance. I don't always like to look at the top players doing it. I like to discover it myself somewhat before I look at anything like that, just to understand where to balance the car in terms of gearing and sliding through corners, and when to keep full traction and run it smoothly. Tricky, on the limit, great fun, really good driving experience all round. I'm enjoying what they're doing there. I think bringing this car, obviously we're all looking forward to Pikes Peak. We know that's going to come to the game at some point, along with other various improvements, and it tells you that Gran Turismo is at least going in the right direction. I would still like to see them maximise the PS5 performance, but that will come no doubt later in the years to follow, and no doubt at some point we'll see PSVR 2 added to it as well. Full racing online, I mean, that's going to change things a whole nother level. So a good addition so far in terms of different cars that are added, the great track, and other minor improvements. A step forward all round for Gran Turismo. What do you guys think of it so far? Have you been playing much Gran Turismo? Do let me know in the comments. Do you like this track? What tracks, we were having a conversation online the other day about different tracks we'd like to see added. What tracks would you like to see added to Gran Turismo? But that's it from me for now. As ever, more soon. Hello viewers, well thanks for watching the video today. Do like and subscribe, it supports what we do. Do become a YouTube member. YouTube Patreon supports all of our content you see on the channel, and of course lots of gaming from retro to modern games. I love it all in terms of racing action. So click on one of the two videos just there to find out more.